Hello everyone, and let's talk about ways to prepare for patch 3.2. Patch 3.2 is less than 2 weeks away. The major new feature that is coming is of course New Planet, Zyos, but we're not really going to focus on that. We are going to focus on the costume designer, and we're going to talk about ways that we can prepare to make the most out of the costume designer. Now if you're like me, you have many alts, and what I plan on doing is, particularly with my Scoundrel, is I am going to extract all the mods from her current gear and place them in legacy gear, because I have the 6-piece Shadow of Revan set bonus, and I have the old 2-piece 180 Dreadforged bonus as well, for more AoE healing when we need it. So what I'm planning on doing is pulling out all the mods from her costume pieces and putting them into legacy gear. This is going to be very expensive, so that is the best way to prepare for patch 3.2 is of course to farm lots of credits. That is going to be the #1 tip for it. Farm tons of credits, because extracting mods is expensive, and of course we're going to have to re-augment all that gear, because again, we want to share gear between alts and have different costumes. That is the ultimate goal, really, of the thing. Again, the costume designer itself, it's not going to cost you too many credits, to be honest. You get a free tab, and it's only about, I think it's 14, is it 7 or 14k per, I can't remember now actually, 7 or 14k per piece, per slot that you want to augment. So it isn't going to be that expensive. However, if you do want to convert your characters and take advantage of the legacy gear and have their costumes, it is going to be expensive. Mod extraction costs are still going to stay, and we are still going to have to re-augment everything. We're going to have to buy a lot of augmentation kits. Tip #2, buy augmentation kits right now. Buy or have them crafted if you have them crafted while the prices are low, because again, I think supply and demand is going to outweigh this a little bit. There's going to be a lot of supply, well, there's going to be a lot of demand, which is going to drive prices up maybe post 3.2, as we see a few people having the same idea and converting their characters, converting their gear over to legacy gear and having a separate set for their costume. The other piece of advice I would give you is, if you've got your eye on a costume piece that's available on the GTN, buy it now. Because again, supply and demand, there's going to be I imagine a higher demand for certain costume pieces, because people want to complete their sets, I guess. Things like belts, bracers, etc. So if you've got your eye on a costume piece that you really want, I would suggest buying it now. That's my suggestion, because I think the prices will go up. If you're on the flip side of this and you have a bunch of costume pieces in a tab, in a bank tab, like I do, then the best advice would be to wait until after 3.2 and then start selling them, because again, supply and demand. If there's greater demand, then you can sell them for higher prices. Now right now we are struggling to sell armor pieces. I have a whole cargo hold full of just miscellaneous armor pieces. I have a few full sets as well that I am going to be selling when 3.2 comes out, because people will want them, because that's the thing, the customization, it's going to open up that thing, and again, you can have up to 16 costume slots available if you want it. So again, you are going to have many options when it comes to costume pieces, and there are many costume pieces from cartel packs, etc. But certainly you're going to be buying legacy pieces. I would have suggested the events, the Rakghoul event and the Ygritte event were up, so you should have farmed enough Grey Helix components and DNA samples to buy a set of legacy gear. However, if you want a set of legacy gear, they're fairly cheap from vendors these days. You can get them from any of the event vendors, sell legacy bound gear. All of the reputation vendors sell them, Section X, Yavin, Rishi. You should have at least enough rep with one of those factions to buy a legacy bound set. I think every reputation that is available has a legacy bound gear set in the game, so it shouldn't really be too much of a problem to get a full legacy set. Again, farm the credits if you need a full legacy set. If you don't know why you really need a legacy set, it's only available really if you have alts, especially if you have the mirror class on the opposite faction. Then we can send their gear. Now we can't send the main hand, can't send the offhand to the operative in my case, but we can send the set bonus gear, because getting the set bonus gear is difficult. So it is good in that sense. We don't have to change the characters don't have to have the same look, at least now. That was one of the annoying things. You could have a character that looked good, or you could have a character that had legacy. So I will be playing my operative a bit more in 3.2 certainly. But yeah, that is my, again, supply and demand is going to be affected. It may affect the economy. So I suggest buy now. Or if you're selling, wait until the patch and then sell. You might see an increase in the prices that you're going to get. Just warning you about that, because there's going to be a higher demand for costume pieces, because well, it depends on the costume piece, you know, obviously. If you're sitting there with Revan Reborn set, wait till 3.2 and then you probably get to sell it for maybe a markup, maybe 10-20% more, because the demand will be there. The demand will be there for it, I imagine. That's the effect it's going to have on the economy, as the effect of Ziost. We are getting new gear. There's going to be a new solo gear, new 190 item level, which is going to be for solo players. Really, if you want to be a solo player. I don't know why. I mean, if you're a solo player, you can have 192 because you get elite comms for doing weeklies, so you should have a few 192 pieces by now if you're just a solo player. But there is going to be some solo content. Ziost is going to be a daily area, I imagine, and new Flashpoint as well. Apparently new world boss as well, which is interesting. Don't know what gear it'll drop, but again, it's good to get something new, because I'm fed up looking at Yavin dailies, and Rishi only had a couple of dailies. It wasn't really worth going to Rishi for dailies, to be honest. Rishi really should have been a daily area as well, and should have had a weekly area, I think, again for Rishi. But you know, it's good that we're getting another daily area. Hopefully it'll be, I imagine 3.2 will be kind of like the Titans of Industry update that was in Rise of the Hutt Cartel. And then hopefully 3.3 new raid content. I hope they don't do Nightmare. Just skip Nightmare for this tier. Draw a line under it and get straight to the next one, hopefully in patch 3.3. We have heard the EA statement in the blog that did say that there is new content coming later this year. Incidentally, not later this month. You have to look at the language there. When they were shutting down the 4 free-to-play MMOs, SWTOR is not one of them, of course. But they have said that the game is making money. At least it's satisfying EA. I mean, they had a chance when they were clearing out their old MMOs to, you know, get rid of SWTOR, but I don't think they will. I mean, it is the year of Star Wars. Hopefully we'll get something decent this year. Hopefully we'll get some new content, new raid content. Not expecting a new expansion this year. Probably 2016 we'll get a new expansion, hopefully. But again, 3.2 is coming along 2 weeks time. 28th of April is on schedule for release, available on the PTS right now if you want to check it out. I haven't been to Ziost or anything like that. I like to experience story content when it comes out live, so I don't really test anything on things like Ziost or anything like that. I did check out the costume designer just because it looked interesting, and it is a feature that we need. It is a feature that definitely brings it in line with other free-to-play MMOs out there, so hopefully it'll be a good thing. Probably be bugged and all your costume pieces will disappear on the first day, no doubt. So anyway, that is all for this video. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.